Welcome to the Fasting Podcast featuring wellness and optimal weight. Wow. Join our co-hosts, Julie Phillips, myself, and the amazing Kimberly Jansen, both certified natural health professionals with a combined experience in wellness of 4 decades. In the weekly episodes, you'll discover simplified approaches, little-known facts, insights from the wellness coach perspective, valuable tips, and amazing wellness tools and technologies. And now on to the show. This is episode 12, 1, 2, or more meals a day. Meal frequency absolutely matters big time. Multiple studies indicate that 2 to 3 meals per day are better than grazing or snacking, with a PubMed study recommending meals definitely eaten earlier in the day. PubMed also did a study indicating that 1 or 2 meals per day is a better decrease in BMI than 3 meals a day. So they were preferring 1 or 2 over 3, while more than 3 a day actually showed an increase in the body mass index. There was a study at Institute for Clinical and Experimental Medicine that showed that type 2 diabetics eating 2 meals a day lost more pounds and more inches around the waist than the group eating 5 meals a day. And the lead scientist, Dr. Kaliova, believes cutting down to 2 meals a day could also help people without diabetes who are trying to lose weight, since that study was done on type 2 diabetics. There was a hepatology study that concluded high meal frequency, not the total amount eaten, but high meal frequency actually increased the intrahepatic or liver triglyceride count, IHTG, and increased abdominal fat. Not good news. So we don't want to keep grazing all day. The same study suggests that snacking, a common feature in the Western diet, independently contributes to hepatic steatosis, which is fatty liver, and obesity. So now Kim's going to take us through a comparison of various options.
We do have a few options when it comes to consuming food. Some people have heard that grazing 6 meals a day or just eating those small amount of meals is good for blood sugar and for keeping it regulated. Unfortunately, that's a myth. Your insulin is being released no matter what food you're consuming, more with some food versus others, but still being released. Cons for grazing: your body is constantly trying to digest. It has no time to actually rest, and in turn, it is working too hard. We need that period of consuming and also resting. Also, as Julie had mentioned, triglycerides are increased and abdominal fat is increased. If you'd like more info on how the body should work, our resting and eating phases, or resting and fasting phases, go to episode 1 of our podcast. A second option is eating 3 full meals a day plus 2 snacks. Again, the myth of keeping blood sugar regulated. Unfortunately, untrue once again. Snacking also leads to fatty liver and also obesity, which is unfortunately very strong in the American population right now. With grazing and also the 3 meals per day plus 2 snacks, there is little time for hydration. And hydration is super important to our body, that's made up of, we'll say, 60 to 90% water, depending on who you're talking to, and also what age or organ of the body we're talking about. Third option, 3 squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Pros are your blood sugar is more balanced than with 1 meal a day, which we're going to get to shortly. Cons, you're comparing to 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, it actually is an increase in BMI, in the body mass index. Also, more time and cost that you're focusing on foods and eating, less burning of stored fat, and then, of course, as we mentioned before, less time for actual digestion, rest, and, of course, hydration. A fourth option is 2 meals a day. This is our number one choice. If we're going to tell you this is what we do and this is what we recommend to others, 2 meals a day. It's ideal for balanced fat burning. It also helps with the fact that you're achieving and eating, consuming food twice a day. You're not thinking about food all the time. You're giving your body somewhat of a rest, but there's plenty of time for digestion and also hydration. TMAD compared to 1 meal a day, OMAD, which we're going to talk about as the next option. So what's the con? Less autophagy. Now, what is that? It's actually the natural process of cells to rid damaged components. That's a good thing. We want more of that. And at 2 meals a day, you have a little less of that, less on human growth hormone, less on ketosis or burning fat. 2 meals a day can be very positive in some aspects. And what we're going to talk about in just a couple minutes is an option to go along with the 2 meals a day. I am going to provide you 2 more meal frequency options. We do have a chart on our website, thefastingpodcastwow.com, that compares all of these options, and it'll be easy for you to print out. First of the last 2 I'm going to talk about is one meal a day, OMAD. Pros for that: high fat loss, lower cortisol, some autophagy, some HGH, and some ketosis. This is compared to the other options I've already mentioned. You can do this continuously or 1 to 3 times a week. We say occasionally is good, but I'm going to give you a little more info. Cons of the OMAD, or 1 meal a day, is blood sugar dips. And sometimes it's very difficult mentally because people are more adept at eating more meals per day. And it also is difficult in regard to they may be hungry. Socially can come into play too, because if you're only having 1 meal a day, what's to say it's going to be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and someone invites you out? So it's easier for you to get off track versus staying on track. There also is a possible increase in blood pressure and cholesterol with the 1 meal a day, and this is based on the American Journal of Clinical Investigation. This was a study that was completed by them. The final option I'm going to give you is a full 24-hour fast. This full 24-hour fast means not that you're going to go without food for a full day. It means you're going to choose a time of day, let's say, for instance, noon, and you will not eat until noon the following day. So you still have food both days, but it is a full 24-hour fast, where the option I just mentioned, 1 meal a day, is approximately 23 hours with about an hour eating window. There are many benefits for the full 24-hour fast, and we recommend 2 meals a day, which we've mentioned earlier, with 1 day a week, you go a full 24 hours of not eating. That is our preferred mode of meal frequency options.
As we cover our suggestions for any meal frequency you've chosen for most of the time or some of the time, rather than taking notes, you could get a copy of our slides at www.thefastingpodcastwow.com. On that site, you'll also see a 24-minute video of our WOW program, Wellness and Optimal Weight. Phenomenal, best in class, with 2 expert doctors talking about tools you should take a look at. The first doctor talks about Lifeboat Homeopathic Weight and Wellness Drop System. The second doctor, the Powerful Digestive Gut Aid, best in class. So our first suggestion: forgo the snacking if you can do it, based on clinical studies, a habit worth breaking. From episode 1, we taught you to choose organic and all natural as much as possible because toxins are a key reason for our health and our weight challenges. And get a good variety, have fun, experiment. Include plenty of those healthy fats that can help our body get fat adapted and provide the much more efficient fuel of ketones that help fuel the brain and body better than glucose sugar. So we're going to keep our net carbs low. Adequate protein is ultra important, so you may want to go back and redo episode 9 and 10 on the protein topic. You almost certainly will learn something you didn't understand. Next suggestion: eat until you're full. If you're choosing TMAD, 2 meals a day, eat until you're full but not gorged. Now, what are the foods that help us to feel full or give us satiety? Proteins and fats, much more than carbohydrates, so this is all working in our favor. And because of the blood sugar balancing of this lifestyle approach, now the cravings from the blood sugar should be much different. Determine the most important time for you to eat for social reason, whether it's eating with your friends at lunch or your family at the dinner meal. Consider a 4 to 6 hour gap between your meals. even if you chose TMAD, 2 meals a day, that works very well for those people that have chosen an 8-16 intermittent fasting time approach, where 8 hours are caloric eating, maybe from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll cover meals at lunch and dinner. And a lot of people say, that's great, but I really don't need 8 hours of caloric eating. I do beautifully, at least some of the time, with 6-18, giving my body 18 hours to digest the previous food, rest the system, and burn stored fat. So that one could be noon to 6, for example. But ebb with the flow, be flexible, allow life's priorities, be happy. This is your choice. It's a worthwhile lifestyle change. And eating is a conditioned response, so chances are good you're going to adjust quickly to whatever you decide to do. So it's not a sprint. This is a marathon. Experiment, have fun, let this work for you. Try and vary different approaches. You might want to try a week of 3 squares, a week of 2 meals a day, TMAD, different things. But every single person, given the fact that certain people are cautioned on how long they go without food, you'll see that in our next episode. Everyone should try a 24-hour a week water fast. And as Kim said, that can be from noon on Wednesday to noon on Thursday, or dinner to dinner. So you get to eat both days. But after you watch the next episode on the magnificent benefits of the 24-hour or more fast, you're going to be highly incented to give this a try, even if you have to work up to it. Gandhi did the weekly 24-hour fast. And when he was assassinated at age 78, the autopsy showed the internal organs physiologically of a 39-year-old. Very inspiring. Some people are so excited about the results you're going to learn in the next episode that they do the 24-hour fast more than once a week. Don't miss our next episode 13 on the superpowers of the extended water fast.
This concludes today's episode. Possible next steps would be to catch up on any previous episodes you've missed, refer us to others, and of course, check out our website, www.thefastingpodcastwow.com. You can also watch our wellness and optimal weight video, our WOW video, at www.lifeboatdoctors.com. For all you podcasters, please leave us a 5-star on iTunes, and YouTubers, like this video and subscribe. Remember to stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, energy flows.